Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 21st of November 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we update on a daily basis. So I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves, guys. So feel free to visit us on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab above right here. Okay, so now then, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the S&P 500. Now, I looked at this one recently, and this is what I was telling you guys to keep an eye on. So, this is a 4-hour chart, by the way, and yesterday we had a strong slide, and what I was saying that if we get a close below the 3,100 level, then there is a good possibility that we could see this one drifting further down. We did get a break, but we never got a close below this level. So we're looking at this. The cash index right now is currently balancing not far from where it ended kind of the day yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on this one. We'll keep also an eye on this upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of October. And in a way, as long as it kind of, let's say, balances in between this little territory right here, between the upside line and the 3,100 level, this all area for us is going to be somewhat of a neutral one, because in a way, for us to get excited about lower areas, ideally we would like to see a nice good close of a daily candle below the 3,100 zone before we could examine lower areas. For now, we're not seeing this. I mean, of course, we have a full day to go, so this is how the daily chart looks like. So that's what I'm saying, guys. In order to get excited about lower areas, a drop below this level here and ideally a close below this on a daily chart would be needed. So the 3,100 level, that's what we're keeping an eye on. In order to get excited about higher levels, well, ideally we would like to see a push above the recent high, or in other words, the all-time high near the 3,127, 28 zone, roughly around there. If we get a nice good daily close above this, then it increases the chances of a further move higher a little bit, of course. Again, let's not forget, with the upside, it is a little bit tricky because we are at the all-time highs, and in a way, if this gets a nice good break above this would confirm a new all-time high, and basically then we will have to just try to find exactly where, or not exactly, but at least roughly where it could go to. I mean, one of the levels could be the 3,150. Who knows at the moment, because again, this is the all-time high here for the S&P 500. Again, as I said, the downside, that's what we're looking here for, the 3,100 level. WTI oil. Now, looking at this picture here, and basically, let me just jump back into a 4-hour chart. This is something that I've discussed this morning as well, guys, and basically what I was telling you, to keep an eye on this this barrier right here, the 57.10 zone, and also this is something that we've posted here on our JFD Trading View account here. So for now, it's working out nicely. Let's put it that way. Of course, one of our targets is, and this is a very important target, near the 57.80 zone, because as you can see previously, it acted as a very strong area of resistance. So in a way, we could see this one getting a hold up initially here, but let's say even if we see a bit of a retracement here back down, as long as it's going to stay above this 57.10 zone, we are going to remain still somewhat positive. Now, looking at this activity here, and given that we have moved nicely to the upside, we can lift our stop loss just to mark this low, today's low, and this is where we're gonna keep our stop loss. So for now, like I said, it is working out nicely. Let's see if it can continue pushing higher. The only thing is, as I said, keep your eyes on this barrier right here near the 57.80. It will be quite a tricky one, and we'll have a look at that one. And if it wants to push further north, that's great. Our main target here is around the 58.70 zone, so roughly around here. So let's keep an eye on this one. And that level, by the way, is the high of the 23rd of September. So let's keep an eye on this one. Bitcoin, haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but last time when I talked about this one, this is what I was telling you guys to keep an eye on, this the potential kind of curving move back to the downside. So, and as you can see, I need to shift my arrow here a little bit. We've managed to reach our target, or should I say almost managed to reach our target near the 7,860 zone. Just kind of is a few points shy here from reaching that, but nevertheless we can in a way count this as a success. But for now, the main question here is, can this continue drifting lower? Of course, all eyes are on the charts, on the daily chart as well. This is a 4-hour, by the way. So if we get a nice good break here and a nice continuation here lower, then it increases the chances of a possible test of the 7,333 mark, which is the low of the 23rd of October. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. For now, as long as it kind of remains trading below this downside line, we will aim for lower areas. Don't get me wrong, it also could retrace back up here, but as this is what I just said, as long as it remains below this downside line, there is still potential for this one to drift lower. And as I've mentioned previously as well, given that we are kind of moving further down, further away, and kind of our potential breakout levels keep shifting as well. So now our potential breakout level will be around here near this 8,370 zone. So this way, if we get a push above this level, this would also place the price above the downside, above its downside resistance line. So keep your eyes on this level. This is going to be our level for the upside, but for now it seems that it's willing to drift further down. But again, let's wait for that drop below the 7,860 zone. USDCAD. So something that I talked about this morning, and basically what I was saying, that if this decides to correct a little bit lower, and let's say stays above the 1.3294 zone, roughly around there, then there is a potential for this one to kind of shift back to the upside here and potentially end up testing our target near the 1.334748 zone. That's marked near the highs of the 3rd of October and also near the high of the 9th of October. But again, as you can see, it's kind of drifting lower right now, drifting below this 1.3294 zone. Again, to be honest, is because it just broke it to the downside. It happened just now. So in a way, it could come back here as well. I mean, for now, it does. Yes, it is breaking it to the downside, but let's wait and see how this 4-hour candle is going to close. And then we'll have a look at how the daily candle is going to close, because that's going to be quite interesting. So of course, yes, if we'll have a nice close here of this 4-hour candle below this level here, then excuse me, then yes, it increases the chances of a further drift lower. But if suddenly, which sometimes happens on USDCAD as well, we get the next 4-hour candle shifting back to the upside and pushing here and staying above this, and in a way, if the daily candle stays above this level, then I mean the downside could still be off the table, and we could continue targeting our slightly higher levels. Now with the downside here, if we start seeing a drop below the 1.3270 zone, roughly around here, then this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the sellers. So that's why, guys, for now all eyes are on the 4-hour candle. Let's see how this is going to end up playing today as well, and then we'll take it from there, guys. So let's keep an eye on this one. NZDJPY. Now, something that probably you don't look at very often, but unless you specifically trade this, NZDJPY is performing nicely inside the range. At the same time, it is trading above this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 2nd of October. So in a way, on one hand, we do have still the pair that is trading on an uptrend. On the other hand, we have ourselves a pair which is stuck in a range and cannot get out. So in a way, the way you could play this one out is, of course, keep your eyes on the upper bound of the range here, which is roughly near the 70 mark. If we get a push above that, then yep, we will aim for higher levels. If this decides to drop lower and starts sliding below here, below this upside line, still for us to get excited about lower areas, a drop below the 69 level would be required. So for now, we're not doing anything. We're just continuing to observe the price action. GBPUSD. GBPUSD. I talked about this one this morning as well. Now, with this one here, it's basically stuck as well. Although it is trading above this upside support line here, that's on the very short term perspective, and that's that upside line is taken from the low of the 8th of November. So in a way, it could climb a little bit higher here. The only thing is for us to get excited about higher levels, still the same game plan remains. A break above the 1.3013 level, that's what we need in order to aim for higher levels, because this way the pair would confirm forthcoming higher high, and yep, this could open the path towards the next potential strong area of resistance near the 1.3177. But until we see that, we cannot really talk about any upside. With the downside is almost the same as well, because as long as it kind of stays above this upside line and stays above this level right here, the 1.2886 zone, we cannot really talk about at least short-term downside maneuvers here, because we need to see a drop below this 1.2886, and only then we will aim for lower areas. So for now, let's keep an eye on this one. Let's keep an eye on these levels, and let's see which way that's going to break. Euro dollar. So now then, initially made a huge tease here near the 1.1093, so it looked like it wants to travel higher. It looked like it wants to break this level, and it did break it, but as you can see, neither of the neither of the 4-hour candles closed above it, and now we're having ourselves the same scenario. It's drifting back down, but it's still above the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So basically, we're not doing anything here with the euro dollar. We would like to see at least a 4-hour candle close above this 1.1093 in order to get a kind of a little bit more excited about higher levels, because yes, we did have our break, but then it hit the R2, which is today's R2, which is roughly near the 1.1097, and then it kind of drifted back down. So again, it's now traveling lower. It may end up testing the 200 EMA again, but we're not going to speculate on this too much, because on this little territory right here, we're going to remain neutral. We will only start considering maybe slightly lower areas if we see a drop below the 1.1043 mark here, and then yep, we will aim for the potential. Well, we'll aim for the low of last week near the 1.0989 level. So that's why, guys, keep your eyes on these two levels. First, of course, on the upside, continue monitoring this 1.1093. We need at least a 4-hour candle close above this in order to aim for slightly higher levels. And in terms of the downside, well, you can keep an eye on this 1.1043. In a way, somebody could say that, well, I would like to maybe start looking at lower levels if it starts dropping below the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. Yes, you could do that. The only thing is that if you're going to enter here, then, well, have a very tight stop loss just in case it happens something like this, like here we had on yesterday. So where it did break below this, but kind of quickly reversed and pushed back to the upside. So that's why keep your eyes on this, of course, on this 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, but you could, in a way, start looking, maybe considering lower areas near the 1.1051 zone, maybe around there. That's the low of yesterday. But to be honest, to get a little bit more comfortable, the 1.1043, that's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, with my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful evening, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso. That's 7 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.